Hello there. The Doobie Brothers room, please. And I'll speak with any Doobie who do be in.
What's Happening? The Untold Story, the birth of a controversial legend. In August 1976, a small sitcom premiered on ABC as a summer show. What's Happening seemed like just another television test run, but it would quickly become the first African-American sitcom focused on teenagers to capture America's heart. Behind the laughter and apparent simplicity, however, lay devastating legal battles, caste conflicts, and personal tragedies that nearly destroyed the show before it could even take off. The series was loosely based on the 1975 film Cooley High, but the path to the screen was winding. Initially, a more serious pilot was produced, but the creators decided to completely change the tone, opting for something lighter and more fun. From this radical transformation, only one actor survived, Ernest Thomas, who would play Roger Raj. Thomas. The show was even called Central Avenue before finally becoming What's Happening, the hidden legal battle. What few fans knew was that the very foundation of What's Happening was built on a devastating legal battle. Eric Monti, the talented writer credited as the show's creator, made a brave decision that would cost his career dearly. He sued ABC, CBS, Norman Lear and others, claiming his ideas were used without proper credit in hits like Good Times, The Jeffersons, and What's Happening itself. Monti claimed a $300 million lawsuit, but received only $1 million and a small amount from reruns. According to him, Norman Lear offered $1 million for 7 shows, a proposal he rejected for being insufficient. Even more shocking was his allegation that his own lawyers pressured him to accept a settlement, threatening to abandon the case if he didn't agree. The result was devastating. Monti claimed to have been blacklisted in Hollywood, struggling to find work. This led to difficult times and a battle against drug addiction. In 2006, the man who brought so much laughter to American homes was living in a Salvation Army homeless shelter in Bell, California. Surprising cast secrets. The casting process was full of unexpected twists that could have completely changed the show. Ernest Thomas landed the lead role after competing against 200 other hopeful actors. Curiously, Roger's role was initially intended for Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, another well-known actor, but the most surprising secret involves Fred Berry and his iconic character, Rerun. In the original script, Rerun was written as a skinny white kid. When Berry, an energetic, overweight black man known for his dancing, showed up for the audition, he jokingly insisted, "I'm a skinny white guy." The producers were so impressed with his unique energy that they completely rewrote the role just for him. Ernest Thomas almost had a completely different career. He was one of the last 2 actors considered for the lead role of Kunta Kinte in the powerful miniseries Roots. That iconic part eventually went to LeVar Burton, but Thomas still landed a smaller but important role as Kunta's son in the miniseries. Success and its consequences. What's Happening became an instant success, being the first African-American teen sitcom to enter Nielsen's top 30 in its first season. Beyond the laughs, the show courageously addressed complex issues rarely seen on TV at the time: friendship, communication, obesity, divorce, financial hardship, unemployment, poverty, racism, gambling, dating, education, and even teenage pregnancy. Success, however, brought unexpected tensions. During the second season, Fred Berry and Ernest Thomas went on strike because they considered their dressing rooms inadequate. This bold move forced Haywood Nelson to carry an entire episode, with Shirley Hemphill also stepping up her participation. To bring them back, producer Bud Yorkin suspended both actors and made them sign $25,000 promissory notes. In the third season, Fred Berry, supposedly convincing Ernest Thomas and Haywood Nelson to join him, demanded more money. Instead of meeting the demands, the producers made a shocking decision. They cancelled the entire series rather than increase the actors' salaries. Individual actor journeys. Ernest Thomas, the persistence of Raj Ernest Thomas, born in Gary, Indiana, built his skills on Broadway before television fame, appearing in plays like Love for Love, 1974, and The Member of the Wedding, 1975, both also featuring Glenn Close. He has an eye condition called amblyopia, sometimes known as lazy eye, a surprising personal detail. Thomas claimed in interviews to have had a romantic relationship with Kim Cattrall in the 1970s, when she was a student at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, years before she became famous in Sex and the City. After a 6-year break, Thomas returned to the iconic role in What's Happening Now, 1985 to 1988. In the continuation, Raj had grown up, becoming a budding writer married to Nadine, a social worker living in the old family house in Watts. Thomas continued building a diverse career, appearing in the Heat of the Night, Martin, Soul, Food, The Steve Harvey Show, and Everybody Hates Chris as Mr. Omar. He is a member of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. Fred Berry, reruns Roller Coaster. Fred Berry became famous for his hefty figure and hilarious dance moves as Rerun. His signature red beret, suspenders, and hey, hey, hey greeting became instantly recognizable. In a move that shows how much he embraced the role, Berry legally changed his middle name to Rerun. Unfortunately, Berry had trouble dealing with fame. In a raw interview with People magazine in 1996, he revealed, "I blew $1 million. $2 on drugs, real estate, a plane, horses, and all the other excesses." He shared that drug dealers were present on the studio lot during the 70s and that heavy drug use was common in the Hollywood lifestyle of that era. Berry attempted to harm himself 3 times during his struggles. When What's Happening Now returned in 1985, he reprised Rerun as a used car salesman, but appeared only in the first season due to contract disputes. He publicly complained about being underpaid and even accused producers of racism. After a substance abuse treatment program, Berry went through hardships, sometimes earning money through shopping mall appearances. In a remarkable transformation, he became a motivational speaker and an ordained Baptist minister at Little Primitive Baptist Church of Shiloh in Madison, Alabama. Fred Berry died in his Los Angeles apartment on October 21, 2003, at age 52, from natural causes after recovering from a stroke. He had lost 100 pounds after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Ernest Thomas attended the funeral despite others being upset, saying, "There's a thing called forgiveness." Haywood Nelson, Dwayne's technical path before What's Happening, Haywood Nelson Jr. had a 2-year run on Broadway in Thieves. At 14, he starred in Sanford and Son and its spin-off Grady. At just 16 in 1976, he landed the role of Dwayne, becoming one of the first black teen heartthrobs in television history. Nelson had studied architectural design and electronic engineering before the show. During What's Happening Now, he not only reprised Dwayne, but also served as the show's technical director. After the revival ended, he quickly moved to the technical side of the industry, working in film production as a camera assistant. Today, Nelson works as a lighting technician and stage assistant for Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and The Dr. Oz Show. He's a founding partner in 2 companies, one where he works as an executive producer and writer creating television shows, and another as a creative executive for a gaming company with a consumer mobile services app. Nelson has been married 4 times, to Cheryl Pilant, 1981 to 1984, Diana Ramos, 1987 to 1998, Canadia Sky, 2014 to 2020, and Paula de Jesus, 2023 to present. He has 3 children, Danielle Spencer, Dee's survival on September 6, 1977, During production of the second season, Danielle Spencer, who played the spunky younger sister Dee, and her stepfather Tim Pelt were involved in a terrible car accident. Tragically, Tim Pelt died from his injuries while trying to protect her. Danielle was in a coma for 3 weeks and has no memory of the accident. She spent 6 months recovering with physical therapy, missing the show for about 6 months. The show even stopped filming for about a month to allow her recovery. After the original show ended in 1979, Danielle and her mother moved to Africa for a while. Upon returning, she pursued a completely new path, veterinary medicine, a choice encouraged by her late stepfather. She attended the University of California, Davis, and later Tuskegee University School of Veterinary Medicine in Alabama, becoming a veterinarian in 1996. The journey of overcoming continued. In 2004, she was diagnosed with spinal stenosis, a direct result of injuries from the 1977 accident. Corrective surgery left her partially paralyzed for 8 months. Her mother moved her from Los Angeles to New Jersey, placing her under the care of Christopher Reeves doctors at the Kessler Institute for Rehabilitation. In 2014, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Through all these personal battles, Danielle remained a source of inspiration. She wrote a book, Through the Fire: Diary of a Child Star, about her experiences. In 2014, she was honored by the National Museum of African American History and Culture as the only former child actress to receive this honor. Shirley Hemphill. The waitress's determination, Shirley Ann Hemphill pursued comedy after sending a tape of her routine to famous comedian Flip Wilson. Impressed, he invited her to the set of The Flip Wilson Show. Inspired, she made a life-changing decision. She quit her factory job, moved to Los Angeles, and performed at the Comedy Store at night while working as a waitress during the day. Norman. Leah offered her a spin-off from Good Times, but Shirley declined, choosing to audition for and land the role of Shirley Wilson on What's Happening. After the cancellation, she auditioned for Archie Bunker's Place, but lost the role. The next day, she was offered her own sitcom, One in a Million, where she played a taxi driver who inherits a fortune. The show lasted only 13 episodes. Shirley returned to her stand-up roots, performing in clubs across the United States. She reprised Shirley Wilson in What's Happening Now, 1985 to 1988, where her character became co-owner of the restaurant. She continued making appearances in Martin and the Wayans Brothers, performing her routine on major shows like The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Shirley Hemphill died in December 1999 at age 52 from kidney failure. She was found by her gardener in her West Covina, California bedroom. Just 1 year before her death, she appeared on a What's Happening reunion show on The Jenny Jones Show, alongside Ernest Thomas and Haywood Nelson. Mabel King, The Strength of Mama Thomas. Mabel King left What's Happening after the second season due to creative disagreements with the producers. She felt strongly about showing positive images of black families on television and offered her own ideas, specifically wanting her character's ex-husband to return to show a strong black family with married parents. King faced serious health problems that deeply impacted her later life. She battled diabetes that led to a series of devastating amputations. In 1986, one of her fingers was amputated. In 1990, she suffered a stroke that effectively ended her professional career. Her diabetes continued worsening, resulting in the amputation of her left leg in 1991, followed by her right leg in 1994. She eventually lost one of her arms as well. Adding to the personal pain, her son, Larry King, died in 1996. Mabel King died on November 9, 1999, at age 66. The lasting legacy, What's Happening, gained greater popularity in reruns than in its initial broadcast, showing its lasting appeal. This popularity led to the spin-off What's Happening Now?, which brought many of the original cast members back together. Sony Pictures Home Entertainment released all 3 seasons on DVD in 2013, with Mill Creek Entertainment re-releasing them in a complete series set in 2014 to 2015. The show continues to be a beloved classic, remembered for its humor and pioneering role in television history, with themes that still resonate today. More than just entertainment, What's Happening represents a milestone in African American representation on television, opening doors for future generations of artists and creators. Behind the laughter and memorable moments, the cast's personal stories reveal complex humanity, struggles against addiction, overcoming tragedies, spiritual transformations, and the constant search for dignity and respect in an often merciless industry. These real stories make the show even more meaningful, reminding us that behind every beloved character are real human beings with their own journeys of challenges and triumphs. The show proved that authentic representation matters, that stories from different communities have universal appeal, and that television can be both entertaining and socially significant. What's Happening didn't just make people laugh. It made them think, feel, and see themselves reflected on screen in ways that had never been possible before. Today, as we look back at this groundbreaking series, we see not just a successful sitcom, but a cultural phenomenon that changed the landscape of American television forever. The struggles, victories, and human drama behind the cameras were as compelling as anything that aired on screen, creating a legacy that extends far beyond entertainment into the realm of social progress and artistic achievement.